Hi, welcome. I want to talk about certain peri and postmenopause symptoms that are downright creepy and honestly freak me out sometimes. Now that I'm in postmenopause, I have fewer symptoms and I'm generally feeling better. But there are a handful of symptoms hanging on, and I've been lucky enough to keep all of the unsettling ones. Figures. I'm going to focus on 10 creepy and unnerving symptoms, but before I do, I just want to quickly say that any symptom can have several causes. So please make sure that your doctor gives you a clean bill of health before you assume that your discomforts are menopause related. Having said that, let's get started. I'm making tinnitus number 1 because hearing things that aren't actually there creeps me out frequently. It's commonly described as ringing in the ears, and I do hear that low-grade tone, but I also hear sounds that don't seem to have any external source or explanation, like noises that resemble bangs, footsteps, whispers, or even voices. I don't know how many times a week I say pardon thinking my children are talking to me, or go looking for the source of unknown knocks and shuffles. If I hadn't been living in my apartment for so many years, I'd be convinced it was haunted. Number 2 is random welts and bumps that appear and disappear for no apparent reason. I'd blame an unknown allergy, but they're not actually hives. They're tiny red, itchy bumps that appear in small groups out of nowhere. When it first started happening to me, I tore my house apart several times looking for bugs because I was convinced something was biting me, but I never found anything, and neither one of my kids had a single bump on them. Really freaky and disturbing. It doesn't happen to me much anymore, thankfully, but it was frequent in perimenopause and gave me the absolute willies. Continuing with the bug theme is crawling hair. So creepy and upsetting. It's likely formication on my scalp, but it feels like something is walking on my head. Sometimes it even feels like my hair is moving. I swear I check for lice once a month just to be sure, because the sensation is that obvious and real. One of the perks of losing my hair is that my hair is so thin I can easily see my scalp, so no foreign invaders can set up shop and hide. For those of you that don't know me and are confused, this is a wig. My natural hair is just sad. Number 4 is adrenaline surges. That strange feeling of driving over a giant hill when all you're doing is sitting on the couch. It's a sudden sinking feeling in your stomach that's kind of unpleasant and causes unease. It makes me nervous and creeped out every time it happens because it's nonsensical and misplaced. That experience makes sense when you're on a roller coaster. It doesn't make sense when you're chilling and scrolling on your phone. Next is seeing things that are not really there or not seeing properly for no good reason. I often see things out of the corner of my eye and feel compelled to go searching for ghosts and intruders, just in case, even now that I know what's happening. And I occasionally see things very oddly, like through a haze or a fishbowl. I suspect the increase in ocular migraines, dry eyes, and floaters in menopause is the explanation for these creepy and unnerving disturbances. But it's still upsetting when something walks past you and nothing's there. Anyone else seeing ghosts or having strange visual disturbances? Number 6, I call the menopause flu. I hate being ill, and it's tricked me and freaked me out many times over the last few years. It's a set of symptoms that appear together, convincing you that you're coming down with something. Only an illness never materializes. It's one of the most confusing menopause phenomenons that I've experienced, but it doesn't make me as upset anymore now that I know that there's probably about an 80% chance that I'm not actually getting sick. It used to leave me very upset though, because I don't have time to be ill and I always worried for nothing. It makes no sense. It usually involves things like feeling feverish when your temperature is actually perfectly normal, a sore throat, a headache, body aches, fatigue. You get the picture. But less than a day later, you're perfectly fine. Next is feeling off kilter. It's super creepy and unnerving. I almost feel tipsy, but without the alcohol. When I walk, I sometimes veer sideways and bang into walls and door frames. And I occasionally miss corners and whack my leg or my foot. Even standing in place, I've tipped sideways. It's weird. I can consciously stand on one foot without tipping, but I can't walk straight or stand still. Disequilibrium is fairly common in menopause, and I've had a head CT, a neck MRI, and my ears checked in the last few years. so I'm pretty sure that my wobbles are hormone related, but it doesn't make me feel any better about it. Number 8 is tooth pain. How is that creepy? Because there's absolutely nothing wrong with my teeth. I've been to the dentist a dozen times over the last couple of years, convinced that I had cavities or bad teeth because it hurt to chew and my teeth were super sensitive. But each time, my teeth were fine. I had full scans of my entire mouth and nothing. Loss of estrogen and collagen are the likely causes, and taking collagen daily is helping me quite a lot. But last year was a nightmare. I practically lived at the dentist because I didn't believe him. Number 9 is what I call a brain lag or a mental pause. It's really creepy because I'm aware when it's happening. It's like my brain is refreshing and I space out, but I can still hear what's going on around me. And I know that I'm in a fog, but I just can't will myself to immediately snap out of it. It makes me very uneasy. It happens more often when I'm overworked and overwhelmed though, so perhaps I'm just mentally and physically drained. Menopause seems to have diminished my ability to cope, so it seems like a valid possibility. Number 10 is disorientation. This is very frustrating and unsettling to me. My sense of direction and where I am in any given environment is terrible. I walk out of a store in the mall and I have no idea which way to go. My kids have to direct me like a child. And heaven forbid if I should have to drive somewhere. Someone would have to be sitting in the passenger side pointing, unless it's somewhere I've been a million times. I've never been great with direction, but it's reached ridiculous levels since menopause hit. I'm assuming it's an extension of the memory issues and lack of focus that come with menopause, and it's super annoying. If you deal with symptoms in peri or postmenopause that the doctor has no explanation for and you find creepy and unsettling, share them in the comments. I'm sure I didn't cover them all. There are over 100 possible menopause symptoms, and there are likely quite a few more that are disturbing. I wish health, happiness, and peace of body and mind for each of you, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.